You ever wonder how that one ad seems to follow you all over the internet? Or, how a brand you've never even heard of suddenly pops up at the very top of your Google search? Well, it's not magic. It's actually a playbook. And today, we're going to break down the key terms you need to know for 2025. All right, let's dive in.
I mean, really think about it for a second. That article you just clicked on, that video that showed up in your feed, even that product you added to your cart and then forgot about, yeah, none of that was an accident. There's a very deliberate strategy behind every single one of those interactions. It's a plan specifically designed to find you in all the digital noise.
So you can think of it like this. Every single brand out there wants to take you on a journey, right? They want to guide you from being a complete stranger to becoming a diehard fan. And today, we're basically going to hand you the map that they all use and teach you the language that's written all over it.
Okay, so first things first, let's get our foundation straight. What exactly is digital marketing?
So at its very core, digital marketing is all about one thing, building an online presence for a brand. And you've really got two main ways to do it. You can either pay for ads, which is kind of like renting space in front of an audience. It's fast, it's targeted. Or you can build your own space with great content that people just find on their own. Now that second route, that's organic. It takes a lot more time for sure, but it's got some serious lasting power.
And that map we were just talking about? Well, it has a name, the marketing funnel. Honestly, this is probably the single most important concept marketers use to picture your journey. It's literally how they strategize, turning a total stranger into a customer who, can't imagine their life without them. Okay, so this funnel has three main parts. You've got the top of the funnel, or tofu as they call it. That's all about just making you aware the brand even exists. Then you move to the middle of the funnel, mofu. This is where you actually start considering their product. And finally, you get to the bottom of the funnel, bofu, where the whole point is to get you to do something, to take that final action, or what they call convert.
All right, let's start at the very top of that funnel, getting customers' attention. I mean, in a world that is just flooded with content, this is probably the hardest part of the whole thing.
And getting that attention really comes down to two big players, SEO and PPC. So with SEO, or search engine optimization, a brand puts in the time and the work to get their website to show up high in Google search results naturally. With PPC, pay-per-click, they just pay for that top spot. They're bidding on keywords and paying every single time someone clicks their ad. It's a great way to think about it. One's a marathon, and the other's a sprint.
Now, it doesn't matter if it's paid or organic. The very first thing marketers look at is impressions. A good way to think about this is like foot traffic past a store window. It's just a count of how many times your ad or your content was displayed on a screen. That's it. It's the absolute starting point for everything else.
But look, an impression is really just a glance, right? It doesn't mean much on its own. So let's move down into the middle of the funnel, keeping your audience engaged. This is where marketers figure out if they've actually caught and, more importantly, kept your attention.
Okay, so the first real sign that someone's interested is the click-through rate, or CTR. This number tells a marketer one simple thing. Was my headline, my image, my video thumbnail, was it good enough to make you stop scrolling and actually click? It's really the first piece of proof that the message is connecting with a human being.
The math here is super simple. Let's say 100 people saw your ad, so that's 100 impressions. If 12 of those people clicked on it, boom, you have a 12% CTR. It's just a direct measurement of how eye-catching your stuff is.
But in today's world, which is totally dominated by video, a click is just the start. The really critical question is, did they actually stick around and watch it? And that's where APV, or average percentage viewed, comes in. For any video platform, think YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels, this metric is absolute king.
So here's how it works. Let's say you have a 10-minute video. If people, on average, watch for 3.5 minutes before they click away, your average percentage viewed is 35%. It's a super powerful metric because it tells a creator exactly how much of their story is actually getting through to people.
Of course, sometimes engagement it fails spectacularly. And that's what we call the bounce rate. This is when someone clicks your link, lands on your website, takes one look around, and immediately hits that back button. A high bounce rate is a huge red flag that your landing page isn't giving people what your ad promised them.
Okay, so we've got their attention, they're engaged. Now what? Let's move to the most important part of the funnel, turning clicks into conversions. This is where all that effort has to translate into real business results.
And this
This is the metric that CEOs and business owners really care about. The conversion rate. It's simple. It's the percentage of people who did the thing you wanted them to do, whether that's buying a product, signing up for your email list, downloading an app, whatever that goal is. This is where attention finally becomes action.
Okay, so have you ever had that weird feeling that a pair of shoes you looked at once is now like following you all over the internet? Yeah, that's not in your head. That's retargeting. It's an incredibly powerful strategy where marketers show ads specifically to people who have already been to their site but didn't actually buy anything. It's basically their way of tapping you on the shoulder and saying, "Hey, remember us?"
So that's the customer journey, from top to bottom of the funnel. But how do marketers actually steer that journey? Let's pull back the curtain and look at the Marketer's Essential Toolkit. These are the key tools and metrics they use to make it all work.
Okay, let's do a quick lightning round of the whole toolkit. ROAS is your profit scorecard. Did you make money? A/B testing is how you use science to make your ads better. CPC is cost per click, and CPM is cost per mil or 1,000 views. That's how you buy ads. And that metapixel? That's the little piece of code that watches what you do, and it's what makes powerful stuff like retargeting even possible.
But let's zoom in on the big one, ROAS, return on ad spend. For anyone paying for ads, this is the financial bottom line. It answers one simple, absolutely critical question. For every single dollar we spent on ads, how many dollars did we get back?
And again, the math is super straightforward. If you spend $100 on ads and that brings in $130 in sales, your ROAS is 1.3. Anything over 1.0 means you're in the green. So the name of the game for marketers is, how do we push that number higher and higher?
Well, one of their most powerful weapons is A/B testing. Think of it like a science experiment for marketing. You just create two different versions of something, say 2 different video thumbnails. You show version A to one group of people and version B to another. Then you just sit back and let the data tell you which one gets more clicks. It's all about replacing guesswork with cold, hard proof.
And there you have it. From that very first impression all the way down to the final conversion, you now have the vocabulary, the foundational language of digital strategy. And look, these aren't just a bunch of buzzwords. They're the actual building blocks for how brands and ideas spread in our world today. So the only real question left is, what story are you going to tell with it?